Hi and welcome back. In this video we're going to download and open an NWD file in Navisworks Freedom, and then I'll show you how to navigate around a little bit. So what we want to do first is go ahead and open up Box and navigate to your project's directory. Inside your project directory there should be a folder just designated for BIM. Go ahead and open that up, and inside the BIM folder there will be a folder called Current Model Status. That is where your BIM manager will put all your BIM models, and he will keep them updated there as well. So what we're going to grab is we're going to do Building C Level 1. So just go ahead and select it and download. It's going to download for us, and we're going to go to our Downloads folder on our computer, and for me it's saved as a shortcut right here, and you can see our building. I'm going to drag this to my desktop so that we can use it from now on, and click on the file and it should open up Navisworks Freedom 2016. It'll take a minute to generate the model, and there we go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to want to learn is how to navigate around the model a little bit. There's three ways to navigate in Navisworks. I'm going to start with the worst way to navigate, and we will go through each option until we get to the best way to navigate. The easiest way to navigate in Navisworks, which is why everyone who's beginning starts to navigate this way, is the Viewcube. So this is the least effective way to navigate, but it's the easiest to understand. So if you see up in the corner, there's a cube. North, south, east, west is indicated, and basically you grab the cube and hold down on your mouse and you can rotate the cube and the building responds. Okay, this gives you very little control, but you can at least navigate around. You can also click on, you can see if you hover over the top, you can click on it and it'll take you to the top. If I hover over one of the little arrows on the, let's say the front or the south side, if I click on it, it will take me to the south. Same with the left side, the back side, or the north side. I can go back to the top. Then I can also click on the north, or if I'm back on the top I can click on the east. It'll take me to the east side. Let's go back to the top. We can also rotate it using these little arrows. So if I want to orient it back north again, I can do that. So it gives you a little control, but if you want to go inside the building and get into the clashes and look at the duct, this is not going to be a very effective way. The other little element you have before we move on is the home button. If you click that, there is a predefined home view that is saved by your BIM manager. Hitting that home button will take you there. Alright, now that we've talked about the Viewcube, let's talk about the other two methods of navigating in Navisworks. The first way is with the Orbit tool. So if we go to Viewpoint up here on your ribbon, there is a command called Orbit. If we go ahead and click that, now we get this little twisty icon. What happens here is if you click with your left mouse button, you can see it puts on in the center of the screen there's a pivot sphere. That is what we're going to rotate around when we start moving the building. So if I left click and I move up with my mouse, it rotates the building up. If I pull down, it rotates the building down. If I turn it left or right, it twists the building left or right. And it does it about that pivot point in the middle that you see there. So the problem with this is the pivot point is sometimes where you want it to be and sometimes it's not where you want it to be. You can see right now my pivot point is under the building, so when I rotate up or down, it moves the building off of the screen. So now it's completely off the screen, and now what do? I gotta readjust to find it again. So I'm going to pull it back down. Alright, so that's the left click button. While you're in the orbit mode, the other thing you can do is click down on the scroll wheel and hold it, and you'll get the pan tool. With the pan tool, you can slide the model up or down or left and right on the screen. So combined with the orbit, if I orbit so it's like this, and then I want it to come back down to center, I would pan by clicking down on my middle mouse button and pull down. Now I've got the model centered again. The next thing you can do is you can scroll in and out. You can zoom by rolling your mouse wheel in. Rolling up pulls you in, rolling back pulls you out. So you can see now that I've done that, my pivot tool has now picked a new point to focus on, and this is a little better than the last point. But if I'm trying to get in and look at a duct, it can be kind of difficult to navigate, especially so if I'm trying to get to that blue duct, the pivot point now is somewhere down at the bottom of that floor down there, and so when I try to turn, it makes it hard for me to move along this duct and follow it. I have to keep panning and zooming and panning and zooming. Anyways, it's an okay way to get around. It's better than the Viewcube, but it is not really as effective as the last method I'll show you, which is to walk. So you can find the walk command again on the viewpoint tab, and then there's a command that says walk. You'll know you're in walk command when you get the little feet prints on your cursor. So I'll just go through the mouse commands in walk mode. In walk mode, if you push down with the left button on your mouse and you push the mouse up, you will walk forward. And the more forward you move the more up you move your mouse, the faster forward you'll go. And if you move it backwards, you'll go backwards. Alright, the next thing you can do with your left button clicked down and holding it down is you can turn left and right. So right, left. And then if you turn right and move your mouse up, you'll start walking forward while you're turning. Or you can stop turning by bringing your mouse back to the center. You can come backwards. Anyways, it is like a video game. The next thing you can do is by clicking and holding down on your scroll wheel, you can change your elevation. So click down on your scroll wheel and pull towards you with the mouse. That will descend. And if you click and push away from you with your mouse, you'll ascend. So we could walk forward, descend into the model, and then walk forward some more. The other thing, pushing down on your scroll wheel and holding it, and then if you go left or right, you can sidestep. Sidestep left, sidestep right. Then the last thing you can do with your scroll wheel is if you scroll back, it lifts your head up like you're looking up. If you scroll forward, it will push your head down so that you're looking at the floor. So now you have all the commands you need in order to navigate the model. This is the hardest way to navigate, or at least to learn to navigate, but this allows you the most precision in getting in where you need to get in a model. Using this command, we can do things like follow a pipeline very easily. The last thing we want to do is show you some shortcuts. You'll want to be flipping between the different modes at various times while you're navigating the model, and you can easily hit the buttons up here. One step further would to be go ahead and go to the View tab and hit this button over here that says Navigation Bar. What that does is it puts your navigation bar over here to the side, so you don't have to keep going up to the ribbon to find your commands. Right here you can find the walk command, and you can find the orbit command. So you can easily flip between the two, The other command you can find here that will be useful is the select command. This will allow you to select items in the model. Another helpful shortcut that I can show you is when you are navigating around and you make some sort of mistake and you get completely lost and you can no longer find where you need to be. Page up, that will zoom you back out to the model. And then the last shortcut is if you had something selected but you were too far away and you wanted to see it, or maybe you selected it and then it got lost. If you put page down, it will zoom you into whatever you have selected. So in this case we had the duct selected. The last shortcut I can teach you to move between the select tool and the walk tool are the commands Control 1, which will give you the selection tool. So you can see my cursor changed from footprints to an arrow, which means I can now select the model. And then if I want to go back to walking, I can do Control 2 and it'll put me back into the walk command. So Control 1, I can select things. Control 2, I can walk around the model. Alright, it'll take a while for you to get used to walking around in the model. The best way to do it is to simply practice and put in some time. Once you think you're good at walking around, go ahead and look all the way down by scrolling your head all the way forward on your scroll wheel, and then walk up and down, and then try to navigate from side to side. And then if you think you're good at that, go inside the building into a room and look up at the ceiling and try to navigate around. If you can do both of those challenges, you know you're a pro at this. Alright, with that said, we'll move on to the next video. In the next video we'll talk about how to change what you're viewing and how to select things with a little more precision.